All right, let's dive right into the mission briefing from Module 3 of the Beacon exercise. We're going to walk you through exactly what you need to do to successfully navigate this critical phase of the operation. So let's get to it. So in Module 2, you sent out all those crucial requests for aid and resources, but that was just the beginning, right? The big question now is, what happens after you hit send? Well, that's what Module 3 is all about. First things first, let's do a quick recap to set the stage. Everything you've done up to this point has been leading right here. Remember, at 10 a.m., we kicked things off with Module 1, where you were gathering field reports and assessing damage. By noon, you were deep into Module 2, developing and sending out those vital EMA requests for mutual aid. And that brings us to right now, 2 p.m., and the official start of our current mission, Module 3, the Resource Status Update. So what's the most important objective for Module 3? It all boils down to one single concept, the common operating picture. Honestly, mastering this is the absolute key to a coordinated and effective response. And you might be asking, what exactly is a common operating picture? Well, think of it this way. It's a single, shared, real-time view of what's happening. It means every agency, every team, every person involved is working from the exact same playbook. It completely eliminates guesswork and makes sure we're all making decisions based on one single source of truth. To put it as simply as possible, your job for the next 2 hours is to be an information hub. Your entire goal is to make sure that everyone involved has the latest, up-to-the-minute intelligence on resource status. This isn't just a task to check off a list, it's the very thing that prevents chaos and stops us from duplicating our efforts. Okay, so how does that translate into what you're actually supposed to be doing? Well, it's about a lot more than just sending information out. It's about creating a constant two-way communication loop. The key here, and I can't stress this enough, is that communication has to be a two-way street. You're not just broadcasting. You have to actively acknowledge the information you get back. You need to send updates on resources you've sent out and on resources you've received. And crucially, you have to keep your local operational area partners, your OA, in the loop at all times. They're the ones coordinating the big picture, and that's how we maintain that common operating picture we just talked about. This breaks down that cycle perfectly. It's a simple 3-step dance. Step 1, you get an update. Step 2, you process it, acknowledge it, and figure out what it means. And Step 3, you immediately turn around and share that info with your local partners. This simple loop is what prevents critical intelligence from getting stuck in a silo. Now, how are you supposed to get these messages through, especially when the primary systems might be down? This is where good old-fashioned strategic planning comes in. You need a whole toolkit of options and a plan for how to use them. This is the PACE model: primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. Your primary comms method might be the trunked radio network. If that fails, you immediately switch to your alternate, like satellite phones. Your contingency plan could be using the cell network, but you know it might be congested. And finally, your emergency, last-ditch option is auxiliary communications, things like HS radio that will get the message through no matter what. During this exercise, you've got a few different tools at your disposal. You've got HF radio, simple text messaging, email, and the WinLink application. The biggest takeaway here? Be flexible. The goal isn't to get hung up on one specific technology. The goal is to communicate. Use what works to get the message through. All right, I need everyone to listen up because this is the single most important procedural instruction for the end of the module. This is completely non-negotiable, and it's what ensures we get the most value out of this entire exercise. At exactly 1600 Pacific time, there is a hard stop. And I want to be crystal clear. This means all exercise activity, everything, ceases at that exact moment. No exceptions. This is absolutely crucial for the next phase. And just to be perfectly 100% clear, this means stop immediately. I don't care if you're halfway through typing an email or in the middle of keying up your radio. When that clock hits 1600, all exercise play stops. Period. So why are we so strict about this? Because it lets us immediately roll into the hot wash. This is our chance to capture what just happened while it's still fresh in everyone's minds. We're going to talk about systems and procedures, what worked, what didn't. And look, this is not about pointing fingers, it's about making our systems better. Your direct feedback is what builds the after-action report and makes every single one of us more effective. To make that hot wash as productive as possible, start thinking about these questions now. What actually happened versus what was supposed to happen? What went really well and what needs improvement? And when you give that feedback, try to use the SMART model. Make your suggestions specific. measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's how we turn a good discussion into real actionable improvements. Okay, one last practical instruction. As we get closer to 1600, start gathering your documentation. I'm talking about your ICS 214 activity logs, your 309 communication logs, basically any notes or forms you've been taking. Having this data right at your fingertips is what will make the hot wash so incredibly valuable. And that's your briefing. As you go into this final phase, I want you to keep this one question in the back of your mind, because answering it is how we turn a valuable exercise into real-world readiness. Good luck, stay safe, and communicate.